Salam everybody, welcome. Amanda Goes Back to Basics, part 11. Grab yourself a cuppa, quick sticks, let's get going. I have arrived in Doha and I had just taken up a teaching post in an international school. I had a tragic end to a very long relationship and I had said my goodbyes with a very heavy heart to my children. And I had taken off to Doha, to Qatar, to try and heal the hurt and the darkness that kept swirling around inside of me. I was a very unsatisfied person, and I guess my reactions to hardship was not with patience. It was very much with impatience. Islam has taught me patience. I've had many, many horrible lessons, but I look at them with warmth and with an attitude of gratitude, even though it was quite dark and harsh, the lessons that I was going through. On retrospect, I can see why these were coming to me in my life. I have learned that people of allhumdillah do not complain. We see everything as a positive, and I see things that happen to me and try and learn a lesson from them, because during my time in Doha and some while after Doha, so we're talking about 8 years, I had a trial after a trial after a trial. I call this section of my story false happiness and love, laugh and live, because I thought that going to Doha, I was going to find my happiness, and I tried to find my happiness through lots of nights out, lots of drinking and partying, handbags and glad rags and, high heels and makeup, hair. That's how I thought happiness was going to come to me. I tried to just put a smile on my face and leave behind the sadness, but I wasn't working on my patience. Yes, I was happy with materialistic things. I had a better life. I had more of an income. I had some fantastic holidays and nights out and shopping sprees in the glitzy life of Doha. Now, the prohibitions that I had to leave behind as I entered Islam, the alcohol mainly, it's interesting because Allah made this easy for me, alhamdulillah, because I was going out quite frequently and drinking more than I would have normally done. I wasn't a great big drinker anyway, but as I actually arrived in Doha, funnily enough, I found myself drinking a lot more. So I was consuming a lot of alcohol, becoming quite intoxicated, and actually I was just so unhappy with the way I was becoming, the person I was becoming when I was drinking, that sometime later I decided, it was sort of towards the end of my time in Doha, closer to becoming a Muslim. I had made, not because I wanted to be a Muslim, but it was just the way my life was going, that I had made that decision that I wasn't going to drink anymore, because I didn't like the person I was becoming when I was drunk. I was either ridiculously happy and extrovert and loud, and I didn't like that, or I was very depressed and sad and couldn't stop crying, and I didn't like that, or I was very aggressive and loud, and I didn't like that either. So I had made that decision that the best thing to do was to stop drinking. I actually started to withdraw myself from that kind of social scene, and I had started to become more introverted, I suppose, and sort of I became um, more in my own company. This was the very first time I started to spend time alone, actually, and it was a very welcoming time because it started to kind of calm me down and take me out of those kind of situations and of those people around me. I didn't want to be around those people anymore. I had nothing in common with them apart from drinking, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I started to find myself in a company of a very lovely friend. Hello, Miss Julie, if you're there. My friend Julie. She is Canadian, and she introduced to me um, the biblical stories, the scriptures, and I was just fascinated. I don't even know how we started that topic, Julie. If you know, please tell me. I don't even know how we got onto the topic of talking about the prophets and the stories that happened. And I didn't realise at this point that actually in Islam we believe in all of the prophets and the stories. And I was just fascinated by in the historical sense. I was fascinated at the ancient civilization, the world of the time, the ancient worlds, and it just got me quite intrigued and curious. And also during this time, I had started to put together a little, which was very haram. I mean, I wasn't close to Islam yet, but this is the start. So I'd made a little, do you remember, Julie? I made a little, a shrine uh, of some little bits and pieces, some statues. It was like a bit of a mishmash between sort of Buddhism and Hinduism, and I'd made like a little shrine where I would sit and had some cushions and I'd put some incense on and I would do my little bowl sound and kind of start to meditate and connect. That was the first time I started to connect with something bigger than me, and I think that's key to finding peace. When you step out of yourself and you take a minute to just breathe and get away from the worldly glitz that distracts you and realise, actually, I'm not in control of this. And that was the first time I started to realise I'm not in control. I was too much controlling, trying to control everything, my destiny. It's written. So that's the very first start of becoming close to taking my Shahada and Islam. So going back to the prohibitions, because I want to talk a little bit about prohibitions. You know, that's the first thing people ask me. Oh, how did you give up alcohol? Was that not hard? Or how did you give up pork? Was that not hard? Well, alcohol I've just spoken about. I mean, it was a gradual. I mean, I was never a big drinker anyway. We were not big drinkers in our family. I just got into that scene, like, oh, they're all happy. They're all having a really good time and a good laugh. Well, if I drink, I'm going to be happy. That was kind of my mentality. I was trying to force myself to be a new person. So I did drink heavily, and actually that caused me to stop drinking because I didn't like the sort of person I was becoming. So for me, alcohol wasn't a big thing to give up. And then for the sort of pork side of things, I stopped eating pork from the age of about 16. I just did not like the taste of it. So I just gave that up, and I was pretty much sort of a semi-vegetarian. If you can be a semi-vegetarian. So yeah, so for me to give up the meat was very easy, the pork side of things. So yeah, so it wasn't actually that difficult, the prohibitions. The prohibition, obviously, of a woman and a man being together, that was you know, obviously I was going out in the circles and mixing with men, and that came later. That I realised when I started going to the gatherings that women go to their side and the men go to their side. But that's not any different to how parties are. You know, where are the women? The women are always gathered in one corner of the house party or in the club, and then the men are kind of in the other corner. So I think naturally men and women tend to gravitate towards, you know, their crowd and sort of talking with women, kind of gathering and talking together. So again, that didn't seem too kind of weird for me. I actually quite liked it. Um, and I felt much freer to be, you know, to be me, really. I think I've talked a little bit too much today, so I think I'm going to hit it there as a stop. Thank you so much for listening to my story and continuing to support this channel. I am running this channel for the sake of Allah, to show Islam in its beauty and its truth, and to support any sisters out there or brothers out there who may want to contact me personally, talk to me, ask me questions. If you have any questions or any topics you want me to cover, please do pop it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the notification button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to be peaceful, calm, learn patience. I haven't got it yet, but I feel that I am a little bit more patient than I ever was, because I've got the calm and the peace in my heart. So share a bit of love with everybody today, and have a fantastic day. See you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.